Hi, good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Anderson.
It's very nice to meet you. My name's Patrick.
Patrick, nice to meet you. So, what brings you in today?
Well, I am suffering from anxiety. I think I'm suffering from anxiety.
Okay.
I have kind of Googled, WebMD'd, Wikipedia, some of my feelings, some of what's going on, and I think I have anxiety. And I guess what brought me in today is it just seems to be getting worse. I've had more bad days recently, and it's kind of just taken me to the point where I have to do something. I thought I could handle this on my own. I wanted to just go away. I thought I could kind of overcome it on my own, overpower it. I thought it was like in my mind and I could just be fine. But it seems to be getting worse, and I felt like I had to talk to somebody about it.
Right. Well, thank you, first of all, for coming in. I understand that it's really difficult to acknowledge those feelings and then to act on them, too. So it's a really courageous act for you even being here. So thank you for just being willing to talk to me and being open to this therapy session. So thank you so much. And yeah, I understand how those feelings might be, troublesome, and it might cause you some, concern. And but today during this session, I'd actually really like to understand a little bit more about you and kind of understand where these feelings might be coming from, and possibly help you in the best way we can. And I would love to do that for you. So
I would appreciate it.
Good. So first, I kind of just want to start off on, has anything changed in your life recently? Has there been something that would have caused these feelings to arise?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's anything that's particularly causing them, any like trigger or anything in particular. In terms of change, my wife and I just moved recently.
Okay.
I moved to a really nice place and we're really happy, but that, and then I got a promotion actually about a month ago, and I worked really hard, and I think I was recognized for it, but with it came more responsibility and a lot more stress. And on top of that, I started a master's program just recently, and it has kind of gotten worse with all of that kind of piling on, and it does seem to be more frequent. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. Certainly, with the move, promotion, and even starting a master's program, that's a lot of change that's happened recently within your life, and I can understand why that might cause maybe a little bit more tension, maybe a little bit more pressure. That's something really considering. So, yeah. Now, do you feel this experience day to day, or when do you feel these anxious feelings?
No. Like today I feel great.
Great,
It's
good.
a really good day.
Good.
What's weird though is I can never really predict it. There are days I wake up, everything's normal, I feel great. There are other days I wake up and I just kind of know I'm anxious. And I don't know why. It could be a Monday, it could be a Saturday, it really doesn't have any schedule.
Okay.
It just happens, and it's frustrating. It really, kind of throws a wrench in my day.
Right.
But I feel great today, and I don't really know when or why it happens. It does seem to be happening more frequently. And that's again why I came here today, just to see see if you could offer me anything, see what was going on, see if we can talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would imagine that waking up day to day, not knowing if it would be an anxious day or a good day, that would definitely be frustrating. So, and it would be really good to talk to someone too. So yeah, again, thank you for being here. That's really good and positive. Again, it sounds like there's a lot of life changes, and this anxiety and these feelings that you're feeling does seem a little unpredictable. So that might also throw like a wrench in the mix as well. And that's something that, it can be really kind of challenging day to day. You never really know what's going to happen. And so, that can be really, really frustrating sometimes. But, truthfully, on the days that you do wake up anxious, do you notice that I know you mentioned that there aren't really specific triggers, but did you notice something that happened the day before, or are there like some things in your life that causes you to really feel that anxiety?
I haven't really been paying attention, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I kind of acknowledge, but I don't really, I honestly, I don't admit it half the time. And when it happens, I'm focused on it, and I'm trying to kind of fight it or just be normal, but I'm not really all that concerned with what happened yesterday or tomorrow. It's just a matter of what's going on.
Yeah, like getting through it.
I'm a little grouchy, and I'm ready to grouch at people, and it's just this is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really sure.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that can kind of be frustrating, like you mentioned before, and I'm sure that can cause like a little bit of grouchiness, like you said, throughout the day of, again, not knowing really how to handle these emotions, but still really feeling them. Now, when you feel anxious, do you feel anything like physically, or how do you feel the anxiety?
Yeah. So I do get tense at times. What I think is most noticeable is obligations. When I have to send an email at work and it's somebody, maybe I made a mistake or something, and I have to quickly respond to it, or somebody asks me a tough question, I don't necessarily know the answer, or phone calls I think are even worse than email, and I'll just kind of like dance around the obligation, and I'll find other things to do, and the day goes on, and I just kind of avoid what I know I need to do, and then the day's over with, and I end up feeling even worse at the end of the day, knowing I had no reason not to pick up the phone and make that phone call. I just didn't.
Right.
And it's, I attribute it to my anxiety, but I don't even know if my anxiety is necessarily real, or if it's just me like making excuses, or what necessarily is going on. But that's where I notice it the most. Just when I'm avoiding things.
Right.
And
it's right.
I don't know. Is that normal?
Well, it's really, it's not really a case of normal or abnormal. It's really about yourself and how you feel, and how, we would just really like to get to you to have a place of normality for yourself, like what's your normal? And so if this feeling that you're having is something that isn't typical for yourself, then I think that it's absolutely valid. What you're feeling, like day to day, like those are very real because you feel them, and you're even here today to talk about them. And so it's very valid, absolutely. And so those obligations, absolutely, they can kind of be daunting, especially with all the change that you're experiencing too. So with all the change and all the responsibility and possibly some, pressure that's been put upon your shoulders, I can understand like possibly where there might be some, tensity, something that's tense about possibly finishing an obligation or doing those things. So, yeah. And so absolutely, your feelings are absolutely valid. And again, I can't tell you this enough, but it is really great to, again, have you here and talk about these things, because what you're feeling is very real. Okay. Yes.
And it's just weird. Like today, again, I feel great. Great day.
Right. And congratulations on a great day. That's great, and I'm like, again, it's to celebrate those days. Those are really great. But what I think would be really good is to kind of see how we can help you with these situations, and how we can help you with this anxious feeling that you're feeling right now, and kind of get you back to your normal, to a place where you feel more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of where I want to start with this goal is kind of say like I know that this is kind of where you are now, that's kind of your baseline, but where do you see yourself maybe in 3 months, in terms of managing these feelings?
In an ideal world, I would like to just feel normal. I would like to say, I'm not going to be anxious again.
Yeah.
I have read enough coming in before I did
Sure.
today that I know that's unrealistic. And I guess, if anything, I would like to reduce the frequency and at least know what I can do when it happens.
Right.
Is how can I cope with this?
Right.
What do I do on that day to where I can make the phone call?
Right. Good. Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the word that I thought was good was coping with this.
Okay.
I think that coping with it is a really good goal, just because it's also like it might be something to work towards. And unfortunately, there's not a miracle to say tomorrow you might not be anxious, which is unfortunate because I wish I had the power to do that. But really, what we can look at is maybe some goals for ourselves next week, and kind of revisit that next week in our session. And so, one thing might be to do is to possibly push yourself to maybe answering those phone calls, or like maybe one phone call, pick it up and, have that conversation, and like really, really be conscious of, saying to yourself, like, I acknowledge my feelings, and then maybe you're trying to see if you can kind of overcome that feeling by answering a phone call. And I know that's really, really challenging, and that can be a really hard task, but do you believe that might be a realistic goal for possibly a short amount of time?
Yeah. It's something I'm aware of. I'm aware I feel I have anxiety at least. I don't know if it's normal or not when I feel it. I think that's fair. I'll try to be more self-conscious and self-aware, and on those days when I'm not feeling up to writing that email or answering that call, I'll just maybe try to reflect on this conversation a little more and just do my best to make it happen.
Right. And I think you can, and these things too, there's a slow process, and it's not going to happen overnight. But I think a good goal might be to also possibly keep a journal, or keep maybe a log of how you feel day to day. On the good days, you'd be like, this was a great day, like did all these really great things. And maybe on the days that you feel a little less great, you can write down, this is what I'm feeling, and then you can kind of maybe list maybe physical attributes. You can maybe list like different obligations that are causing you some anxiety, and that might help us kind of determine if for the future what would be the best way to help you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I think I could do that. I've never been one for journaling before,
right? And if you're not, that's okay too. I mean, like, again, this is a session that like is meant to be really geared towards you, and geared towards like how you function on a day to day. And so, if you don't necessarily journal, I would say maybe, what is your profession?
I'm an engineer.
You're an engineer. Okay, good. Well, maybe like in an Excel sheet, or maybe in like a possible chart. Let's think of some way that we can, really make this accustomed to you.
Yeah, no. As you were talking, I was envisioning more an Excel notes with time, dates, day of the week, what I ate for breakfast, how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that would be, if that is something that really draws to you, I would say that would be the best way to help you, And so some people might find journaling to be very helpful. Other people might find, keeping like a data sheet to be more helpful. And that's really up to you, and you can try new techniques to accomplish those goals. But one thing, I would say the small steps would be really good. Does that sound doable?
It does.
Okay.
Focus on the small steps.
The small steps, yeah. And that's kind of what this is all about. It's not going to unfortunately happen overnight, but hopefully throughout time we can kind of, self-reflect and be mindful of ourselves, so that way we can kind of be more proactive in the future and saying, like, I can manage my symptoms, and I can manage this anxiety, and you can kind of return back to that normal that you're once feeling, and we can be managing these things. But yeah, that's really good. Some things that I would also suggest kind of reach these goals would possibly be some maybe breathing exercises or mindfulness. Have you ever done any of? Does that sound familiar?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I'm open though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
These things probably can take about 10 minutes a day. I can educate you more on that. But breathing exercises can help reduce anxious feelings, just because it allows for like rhythmic breathing. And it allows for your body to kind of relax and kind of be mindful. And it doesn't necessarily have to be once you're feeling anxious. You can kind of start to breathe, be mindful, kind of reflect on how you're feeling, and then kind of react in a way that might be beneficial.
Okay.
And that might be helpful too when you have an obligation to kind of take a moment, breathe deeply, and then try the task.
Okay.
Would that be something that you might be interested in?
Yeah. I'm open. I'm a pretty open guy.
Okay. So. Good. Okay. Well, yes. I don't know how much time we've had. Hopefully, it's been. Do you have any questions?
Of course, bring the data sheet next week.
Oh,
we'll
absolutely.
Kind of cover what.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where sometimes I'll go 2 weeks and feel great.
Mm-hmm.
Other times I'll have a bad day twice in a row, two in a row, or something. It's kind of hit and miss.
Right.
So I can't say I'll have any good data for you next week.
Oh, but, no. I mean...
I'll come back and we'll just chat and we'll see what happens.
I agree. I think that'd be really good. And again, I think all data is good data, just again, keeping that report of what, how you're feeling and keeping that log, it actually can be really helpful especially for the long run and in our goals. So, yes. Yeah,
no, I think this was very beneficial for me. I really do. I didn't really know what to expect. Again, this was like my first time in therapy. But no, I took away some really, really good points, and I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
Well, thank you again for your
course.
time. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Patrick, It was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well.
I will see you next week, okay?